fans, in one of the most humiliating defeats the Chicago Bears have ever suffered. They lose to the Detroit Lions in Detroit, 52-21, in a game that, let's face facts, in the years that he was here, Matt Eberflus never gave up over 50 points in a game. He's not been this poor. In the final 8 games of Justin Fields' career in Chicago, he averaged 24.5 points. In the last 8 games for Caleb Williams, 17.5. Only 2 of those are Ben Johnson. The other 6 fall to Matt Eberflus. But what does that say about the culture? What does it say about the people? What does it mean? And why am I still smiling about it? Well, it's complicated. But this week I listened to Olin Kreutz tell me all about the offensive line trying to come together, and it is a work in progress. And at this point, it looks like an unmitigated disaster. But they give up 68 sacks a year ago to Caleb Williams. So far, 6 this year in 2 games. Now, project that out. That's about 3 sacks a game. That's going to be about 15 to 16 less than he had in 2024. That, by proxy, would make the Bears a better team. Also, it should be noted that a lot of people were looking at these 2 games as probably going to be very, very difficult. The team is getting used to a brand new system. They're trying to they're trying to find their way. Ben Johnson's trying to find the best players for the positions, and it is not easy because Jalen Johnson, who was out the first game, rushes his way back, gets the same groin injury that he already had. TJ Edwards goes out after coming back again early because they want to play. They want to prove that they belong on this team because they understand that this team will most likely be a lot better than the product we're seeing on the field right now. Now, I'm going to say most likely because you never know what's going to happen. All right. But here's what I do think so far. Number one, Caleb Williams is not it. We talked about this a year and a half ago. I told you that the best option was to draft J.J. McCarthy and Marvin Harrison Jr. Instead, they went with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. Now, let's be honest about what we've seen so far. We have no reason to think that Caleb Williams is an elite number 1 draft pick quarterback. But he's not horrible. He's okay. And we can have an okay quarterback, and we can do just fine with an okay quarterback that has moments of brilliance. But he won't continue to be okay for much longer. He's going through growing pains. He's going through the complicated process of learning a new system. He will get remarkably better as these weeks continue on. And in fact, there might even be a point at which it is more beneficial, as you saw at the end of this game, to bring in Tyson Bagent. And let's see what Tyson Bagent can do. And we're going to find out, by the way. Tyson Bagent's probably not much of an upgrade over Caleb Williams. And I know that some of you might be saying, well, we've got to at least try something else. Well, let me point out a few of the problems here before we wrap this up. Number one, it's very difficult for this defense, which is not very good right now, but will be better, to play without their star cornerback, without their actual star linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds, not worth the money that we're paying him, but still a serviceable guy. But you need somebody out there who's a game-changing tackler, things like that. TJ Edwards is that guy. So that begs the question, what do we have to do? Well, first of all, patience. As this team is figured out like a Rubik's Cube, Ben Johnson will start to bench people. Darnell Wright, more penalties today. Probably going to see a change in that position. But what are you going to do? Put a Kiran Amagaji in, who's clearly not ready for the NFL. The amount of backup that we have there in that position, it's a testament to the bad job that Ryan Poles has done in building this team. I understand that, but you have to make do with what you have right now instead of crying about what you could have had. So Darnell Wright, you got to find a reason to get him onto the bench. He is clearly not doing a great job. Braxton Jones doing a little bit of a better job. In fact, Drew Dahlman, I think, drew a penalty. Jonah Jackson, boneheaded penalty. We've seen some the offensive line getting acclimated to one another, working next to each other, learning each other, and it's going to take 8 to 10 games, according to Olin Kreutz, for that to happen. So hopefully what we'll see is a much better team as these pieces start to come together. Now, being a fan this week, it kind of sucks, but it's going to get better. All right. I don't know what changes they're going to make. I don't know if they're going to make any changes. But again, let me tell you why I'm not really worried. The defense is piecemealed. It is very clear at this point. Tyreek Stevenson cannot do the job that he's been hired to do. Nashawn Wright, however, is a better option, but he's covering for Jalen Johnson, who's empty right now. Kyler Gordon at the nickel has not been available. And by the way, your nickelback is not going to be the game changer for your defense. But Jalen Johnson is, because then it would allow you to allow Nashawn Wright to start playing on the other corner position as opposed to Tyreek Stevenson. Tyreek Stevenson obviously cost this team dearly last year and continues to cost this team this year, giving up on far too many plays so far. We've seen way too many big plays right now from elite wide receivers against Tyreek Stevenson, and it's only 2 weeks into the season. So I am pretty confident that we're going to solve that problem almost immediately. We're going to have TJ Edwards back most likely very soon. That will add some strength to the run game. Tackling will be a little bit better. We are getting torched on the edges, and I don't have an easy solution for that. We've still got 3 years into Ryan Poles rebuilding a line that really doesn't look very rebuilt. But again, I think we will scheme. I think it will get better. I'm pretty sure that Dennis Allen, we've seen it across the NFL, is a very qualified man. Now, Ben Johnson does not have the players that he wants in place. Here's where you take heart. DeAndre Swift is running hard, even if he hasn't been as effective as we would like him to be, and even if he hasn't gotten enough touches, really the game just keeps escaping the Chicago Bears to the point that they're not able to do the things that they want to do. They're not imposing their will. That's toughness, which is something that they've preached in the beginning, but we're quickly finding out these guys are not that tough. Here's the thing. They will find tough players. There will be tough players that come around that we've not seen play the game yet. We may need to go into free agency into next year before we start to build toughness. But when this line starts to gel together, and it will start to gel together, if this is the worst that we're going to see of the offensive line to this point, then we're going to be much better as they get used to one. So that takes a little bit of the sting out of some of this. Now, the thing is, a lot of people were predicting 2 losses in the beginning of the season. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you lose by 1 point or 50 points. It's only 1 loss. And I want to point something out here. I just want to throw this at you. This is 2024. This is the Lions' schedule. And I would like you to see here that the Detroit Lions, who have been a playoff contender for several years now, gave up 45 points in one of their last games, gave up 48 points in one of their last games, gave up 34 points in one of their last games. Folks, this defensive performance, it is very, very simple. Sometimes the game just gets away from you. The game has gotten away from the Chicago Bears a couple. But have a little bit of faith, relax. These were expected to be losses. They were losses. They were not great wins. They were not surprises or anything like that. But the Bears are going to surprise a lot of people before the end of the season, I assure you. So let's take a step back. Let's give these guys a little bit of time. Let's see what we're building, because we haven't built anything yet. We haven't even gotten the players that need to be engaged yet. We haven't gotten rid of the players, the Tyreek Stevensons, who just aren't cutting it. We haven't really gotten them back to the bench. We haven't really seen Kyler Gordon yet this year. We've barely seen Jalen Johnson this year. We've barely seen TJ Edwards this year. We've barely seen some of the things that we need to see. Now, with all those things being said, we've got a game against Dallas coming up in 7 days. Dallas Cowboys, it's an opportunity. Dallas Cowboys they're a weak team. All right. They gave up 34. I think they won 41-40 or 40-34 today. They actually came through with a nice win for the team, but they gave up a lot of points. So they're not going to be a great defense. Maybe, just maybe, this would be an opportunity for us to turn it around just a little bit. Then you got the Raiders coming up. So there's a possibility that we're looking suddenly at a 2-2 Chicago Bears team. And look, even if we're looking at an 0-3 team, what we're looking for right now is we're looking for progress. We're looking for improvement. We're looking to see the Chicago Bears start to play like the team that some of us thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. It's a long season, all right? We're only 2 games in. So if you haven't fallen off the bandwagon yet, congratulations, because you're probably going to make it. If you did already, I would encourage you to get back on, because this team will become something different. It might need a change at quarterback. It might need a change at many different key positions for a lot of different players that we've liked over the years. Cairo Santos might be gone. It's been a great kicker for the Chicago Bears. Really has been a great kicker for the Chicago Bears. But we've seen his limitations, and his limitations are not getting better over time. They're getting worse over time. So might be time for a few changes. Might be time to sit a few starters. Might be time to let everybody play hard who's going to play hard, and then just see what we have. But that's going to be a story for another time. Chicago Bears fall 52-21 to the Detroit Lions in a game that just didn't really feel that close. And look, halftime, well, I think we got hosed on it. We've seen a few very bad calls go against the Chicago Bears early on, but let me just say this. There are always bad plays in every game. It's about overcoming those bad plays. Tom Brady got bad calls all of the time. It's about overcoming those bad ones. Patrick Mahomes gets all the calls. We know that. But everybody else, they get bad calls. You have to overcome. You have to put yourself in a position where plays like that, with iffy calls, they don't matter to the outcome of the game. You have to lock in. You have to be better. So we'll see what the Bears are made of very, very soon. Thank you for tuning in. Bear down, guys. I assure you, Bears are going to be just fine. We'll talk to you again very, very soon.